And there we are. It is Monday. It feels like a while, Jack, since we have sat down on a channel together and just hung like this. And yet it was only last week.
Yes, it felt like it was a bit of a bit of a long time since the last one, but yeah, it's probably because last week was so epic with Pex being on here for his birthday.
It was indeed an epic stream. Really happy with how that went. This is Monday. We are drawing, or colouring actually tonight, Salt Wolves of the Whale Road for Gallant Night Games. This is kind of where we're at right now. It is Mapping and Movie Madness Mondays with our entrusted and beloved, erstwhile and wonderful Jack Cole.
Hello there.
And Alex Vixen has come in and she's already sharpening knives.
As you do.
Hey, Alex. Oh, what a week that was. What a week that was. And let's make sure this one is nothing like it. How's it going with you, Jack?
Things are going quite well. I am having a really fun time lately putting together a series of adventures for Shadowrun. And whether that be for our home game or whether that be for the friends that we've made from our various gaming convention crews, I'm looking forward to running them at some point, whether it be virtually or with our home game once everybody's vaccinated and we're past this blasted pandemic. And it's really good. It's one of those things where I've been trying to create an overall campaign, and I'm starting to get everything in alignment, and even things that don't seem like they're connected, I'm finding ways to connect them, and so I'm really happy about that.
That's always a good time, isn't it, when you're writing your own adventure and the plot points start to come together. Mm-hmm. That's always a great feeling, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things in the beginning at first, because Shadowrun is so it's built to be not be a campaign. It's meant to be a whole bunch of one-offs, different crews, different missions, allowing players to having characters carry over between different missions with different other PCs. It's almost like it was designed for almost like convention play, if you think about it, where you could carry your character with you through each thing, but you're always running with a new crew and that type of thing. I personally I'm a bigger fan of like set crews, like a Merc Corps or something, where it's always these guys. Every now and then they may have somebody rotate in or out. Maybe one of the group leaves. But I kind of like the idea of there being mercenary corps, almost like the equivalent of like a lance in like the Mech Warrior universe. I'm always like a bigger fan of that, and plus it allows for a reputation to build, not just as you as like a runner, as an individual runner, but being part of a runner, a Merc crew, so you could be like, oh, you run with the blah 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 crew. That's actually great. We've heard a lot about what you've done. I don't know. I kind of like that. It feels like your reputation almost has more weight to it.
So you mentioned maybe running this for the local group, like it was one thing or another. You wouldn't run it for both.
I could definitely run it for both. Yeah. I obviously with our home crew, I've actually already started to run, into some of these adventures. Some of these runs have been on the periphery. I mean, heck, the one of our players being a host for something darker, that's definitely in line with my overall campaign that I'm doing. So. But so yeah, I could definitely run for like let's call it the convention crew. I don't know how far I would want to like step back, and repeat, especially like if it's one where you chose to join. Then it'd be like, all right, well, you're playing a different character, but you've actually done this adventure before. So
yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to really do it twice unless I really sort of role played it quite well.
Unless you role played it quite well, and maybe it's one of those things where you even sit on the sidelines, not contributing, and if you see that people are stuck, you like say, hey, have we considered this, or that type of thing. I had that in one of your Cthulhu Invictus games at a convention. I actually joined you because I'm either your assistant for a lot of times on those where I'll run and get you things or dice or anything that you're forgetting and that type of thing for a game, get you something to drink. But sometimes I'll sit in as an extra player, whether there be not as many people at the table or if it's just, it helps to have extra bodies there. And there was a couple of times when I did an adventure multiple times. And so I just had my character was just like the slinger at the back who just kind of like, did whatever the centurion said. And he never, unless he was directly asked a question, he usually didn't contribute because I was like, all right, I've done this before. So unless I see that the players don't have this, I'm going to say something. And luckily we were playing with players who were pretty stout. So they were able to,
Hey, Princess. Hey, Brian.
Hey, hello, everybody. Alex Fixon saying that's how Mike and myself run Shadowrun. I'm presently and very slowly working on a Shadowrun campaign, as well as a Star Wars D6 and a Rogue Trader. Nice. Phantom Jen, yay! It's Alyssa and Jack. That's right.
Yay, Phantom!
So yeah, that's one of the things I actually have on my to-do list is to to take a look at the Shadowrun hacking mechanics for decking, and I want to read the rules for the new Cyberpunk that was released not too long ago, where it was kind of like that they honed up the rules and they it's like a new edition of them for the that was in preparation for the thing for the video game. They wanted to like do cross promotion. And I want to see like if the role-playing game for Cyberpunk is kind of similar to how the hacking was in the video game, because if it is, that's kind of how I like that's always how I wanted hacking to be for Shadowrun, and and so I want to see if I can do like a hybrid system where it's like half Shadowrun, half Cyberpunk. So, Strega, we are doing very well this evening. How about yourself? Ooh, and Jen saying that she's just popping in between flights. See you all on Wednesday. Hooray!
See you Wednesday, you better believe it. So do we own Cyberpunk?
I thought maybe you got a copy. Maybe you didn't get a copy of Cyberpunk Red when it was being released.
I didn't.
Oh, you did not? Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I think that might be something we have to order then. I think I'm gonna be doing it on the stream.
Don't forget to show off your credit card to everyone.
Well, let's see. Considering I'm not presenting myself in Zoom, I don't know how that would work. Oh no, Princess, I'm so sorry. She says that she's had the worst Monday in the last
I'm sorry to hear that, girl.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm glad being here is helping improve that situation.
If there's anything that you wish to share, please do. Otherwise, we're just here for you. Big, huge virtual hugs, okay?
What she said. Brian responding to Alex talking about her campaigns, he's commenting that he loves the Star Wars D6 system. Yeah, that was the only system of Star Wars that that was the one that I learned on, and the only one I knew how to play. I played with my cousins when I was younger. I haven't played it much as an adult, and while I liked it, it's like I always was intrigued by the Fantasy Flight one, which I actually even have some of the rule books for the Fantasy Flight one, but I haven't bothered to learn it just because I don't know anybody that would play Star Wars with me. So yeah.
Well, I like GMing, and honestly, even I would be somewhat intimidated to run for you. And I know you've told me that that's a whole lot of poppycock, but...
Mm-hmm. All the poppycock. It's all the poppycock. Because you know me. You know I'm not an actually.
But it's intimidating if you're not like a pro in something like the Star Wars universe. Running in the Star Wars universe with people that do know about it, and it'd be like you running in Rome, Jack.
No, I could see that. It's one of those things, though. One of the things I love about Star Wars, though, is that it's like any other space game. You just, make shit up. Create a new planet. Create a new race. Create a new, a new ship. pull up a picture of something from Battlestar Galactica and be like, that thing flies up. And you're like, and it would be like, well, shit.
And you would go, oh, Battlestar Galactica, episode 13.
You know I'm not like that. Heck, I can't even identify. I'm terrible when it comes to remembering like the nitty gritty stuff. Like I could not tell you. Okay, I could tell you. I couldn't tell you. Well, I could tell you that too. Okay, but like if like someone said like a ship designation, like it's a YT, whatever the freaking hell. Most of the time, I'd be like, "What ship is that again? Is that that's not the Falcon? Is it like the Millennium Falcon style freighter? What kind of one is that?" All the time, every time I read a Star Wars book, I have to have my phone next to me because it'll say the race, the alien race that a character is, and most of the time I'm like, which one is that again? You know, unless it's like trivia about the movies, I so don't remember.
Princess, we can... Let me just say, I am no expert at all in this subject matter, and it would be inappropriate for me to try and provide counseling-like advice. But what I will say is, it is hard on our loved ones as well. For your mother, it's going to be a degree of mourning and loss for her, and an adjustment period, and it will create these horrible moments. But if you both could come through it together, it will get better. It will.
And I'm with you, Brian. The one drawback of the Fantasy Flight Star Wars is custom funky dice. Any system that's like, hi, we're gonna create special dice you have to have in order to play. It's like, darn. I really wish you guys weren't being funkified with your unique dice.
I think that too can make things a little harder for players to... You know, we all love rolling dice, right? But we all recognize like a really low roll on a percentile or a really high roll on a d20. I mean, we could see it. It's very basic, and I think it taps into something almost primordial, like right down in here. And if you're going to swap out the dice, I think you actually take some of that away. I mean, yes, the brain can process that you've just rolled, 6 special symbols or whatever it is. But I think it's harder. It takes the brain out of that ease that you would have if you just rolled, I don't know, a 20.
Right. And Princess says that her mom's had a chance to adjust for the last 13 years because that's how long she's been out to her. So it's been a long time. Alex says, hold on, Wolatex, let's see. I've done that before. I've played a run Mike was wanting to run. I played a run where Mike was wanting to run for a new group, and then they contacted me in the game. My character, Banshee, longtime 5-year runner, told them, but sus about this job. Seems to be like a PR stunt, contract breach. I'm not accepting it. Keep your shock spitter by your side, though. Contact me if you need advice. Oh, see, there you go. Yeah, contact another, your other character. I've got right here on my shelf. I'm not even out of the package yet. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like you say, Alyssa, it's like not a one has, a similar a symbol that you're familiar with for the game. It's so wonky.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But cause some of them will have like a little like starburst symbol. Cool. But then there's one that's like 2 starburst symbols. So it's like, all right, great. So, I mean, I'm hoping the more of a symbol, the better, just like in other dice. So who knows?
Is that like that Star Wars game that we have that is the minis?
Oh, the It
You know the one I'm
is...
talking about.
Yeah. I've got some minis of them over there. I have the Rebels crew. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and funny enough, they're both by Fantasy Flight, and they both have custom dice. But but yes, it's like the special symbols, and I'm sure in the role playing game there's a little like cheat sheet for the players for like different concepts. As the not fleet battles, it's the one that it was basically the miniatures game that was before Legion.
We still own it somewhere, don't we?
Yeah, it's to your left up there. Fantasy Flight. What the hell is the name of the game? Not the role-playing game. It's a board game. Oh, Fleet Battles of Star Trek? Gotcha. Imperial Assault. Star Wars Imperial Assault. That's the miniatures game. Green Loon Toon. Hello,
GL. Yeah, I need to be careful actually. If I elevate my voice, your microphone, even though you're actually a couple of rooms away, it still picks up on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So this one's. Do you know the upper right hand corner's theme yet?
No, I haven't got over there yet, and I think until like inspiration grabs me, I'm probably honestly going to start drawing in the settlements on here. And for the settlements, is this my? Yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can actually get the settlement that I'm going to do. Oh, what the hell am I doing here? Hold on. I want to show you the settlement style. Is that a good way to... Yeah. I'm going to draw the settlements like that. You can see I actually I took inspiration for the way that they've done the waves on this. I'm actually going to do my boats and little guys in the same way. I'm also going to do creatures like this guy in the same way. But I love these settlements and the way that they've done the trees. So I'm going to use that cool. There as an inspiration. I like this way of doing it. And then I noticed that there was another medieval map I looked at where, like, you see Fisk here is a little bit more like, a capital city. The capital cities, I'm going to give them golden roofs using that gold paint that we've got. So that'll look kind of cool. So that's probably what I'm going to start working on next. But I want to try and get the top and bottom frames mostly done. At least halfway done on each one. And then I'm going to start working on land objects. I'm not going to redraw the land. A couple of people have sort of said, well, that's like a Mercator sort of projection. And I'm like, at this point, I don't care. Client's happy, I'm happy, I'm just going to push forward.
Then that's all that matters. It's all about the client.
Captain Bear Mode, thank you very much for the follow.
Nice. And what a cool name. Captain Bear Mode.
Everyone's got a better name than me. Everyone's got these really cool names.
But yeah, it's one of those things where, I like the style that you've done. It's clean, and it's you didn't want to replicate like a lot of the actual old maps, which are horrible.
You can't look at them. They're really hard.
The perspectives are all wonky and what have you, and it's like this is nice. This is.
Right, so it's got to be used in a game, right? There's a certain amount of... It's a little bit like the Britannia one I did. The Romans never would have had a map that accurate, just period. And, there just comes a point where it's like, yeah, but this is like Roman inspired. It's got a Roman flavor. It's got Roman style. But it's got all of the details that we need as modern players. And if I had literally drawn that Roman map as the Romans saw Britannia, it would have been a freaking triangle. Literally. If I had done that, I mean, come on, professionally, I would have been slitting my throat. And the client would have been good one. How much am I paying you for this? No.
Right. Captain Bear Mode says that they've been following you on Twitter for ages on their personal account, but then they realized, wait a minute, you've got a Twitch account. So they just jumped over.
Well, thank you very much.
And Brian McWhirter jokingly saying, wait, people don't use their real names as their online handles? Yes. As Alyssa and you prove that that's, some do, some don't.
I am actually really bad at coming up with social media names though too. Like really, really bad. And you see these awesome social media handles that people go by. And I'm like, yeah, no wonder you're going by that, because it's freaking cool.
Yeah. And it's sometimes it's weird too, because I know on social media things you can certain things you can change, so you can like change what like the main heading is. So it's always weird when we'll use Twitter an example because Captain Bearboat brought it up. It is open. They're saying they have got to drop off to go to bed to make sure to catch up in the near future.
Get it?
But yeah, like on Twitter, like you can change while your at will always be the same. You can always change like what your like first part of your name is, and so it's always confusing because if people ever like update or change or what have you, it's always like, what the heck? Who is this person? Oh wait, I know this person because their at is still the same, whatever the heck. Gotcha. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I'll bookmark that one. Yeah. Again, I haven't actually read the rules yet, only because I don't know anybody that currently is interested in playing it. So I haven't even like I said, I haven't even opened up the dice out of their packaging. So, but cool.
I think if I could get on the other side of Masks of Nyala Hetep, maybe from my quarters.
Yeah, I don't know if our group would even be into it, to tell you the truth. James would be making fun of things all the time, and he prefers Star Trek anyways.
Maybe it's a short game, Maybe they'd bite.
Yeah. George Fields, good evening, sir.
Welcome, sir. Always good to have you here.
Yeah, I do gotta say, I do admit I'm definitely looking forward to home game, in-game person gaming again. Home crew, I mean. Gaming in general, I think, especially like conventions, going to conventions, that's gonna be so great once the world is past this pandemic. Different types of games, more games. Actually, it did just dawn on me. I didn't sign up for anything for GaryCon this year. I'm a dope. I should have.
You should have signed up for a couple of games or something.
Exactly. I totally should have.
I'm sure there's still games to sign up with if you wanted to.
You'll have to take a look at the schedule.
You have a badge.
I do? Do I?
You have a badge. We'd have to sort of root out the details, but I bet if you checked in, they'd be able to find you. You check in on Discord, and you had a badge assigned to you.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'll log into my tabletop.
You should, as my partner. A badge was given to you.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
George, I know it's difficult. I get you. I do get you, but I think they could be fun.
Yes, Strega, I did see that your updated profile picture. I thought it was great.
I missed it, however, but I will go and check that out.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I don't even remember. I think I saw it. Was it this morning or was it yesterday afternoon? It was one of those two. I think it was this morning. I saw it, but it's one of those things where it's Facebook is so weird where it's been doing one of those things where I've been shifting, seeing certain people's pages. Like, you know how every now and then, like, you can go for a stretch where you don't see things from people, and then suddenly you will. I think it's one of those things where I think Princess, I think your posts and your things and your updates are ones where I'm starting to see them again, because like I never used to see anything that you posted. It was so weird. And then I remember one time you like tagged me in something because you were talking about like your movie lists over on Letterboxd, and I was so glad you tagged me on it, because I was like, well, that's really cool. Because if it was, for the longest time, Facebook was doing one of those things where it's like, we're not going to show you anything of princesses. And it's like, well, all right. I wish I could, like, you know, tell Facebook, how about you show me all the things, please, for, like, everybody.
Well, in theory, they've got the tools, right? But they just
Right.
ignore their own tools.
Right. Yeah, there was somebody who posted, they came up in my feed, and I was like, do I even know this? Because it was somebody that I had never seen like their stuff for the longest time, and now I'm seeing it again, and I'm like, do I actually know this person? Who is this person? I haven't added a friend on Facebook in like ages, so apparently I know this person. Let me look at their profile. You'd think that was the case, Princess, but it's actually crazy enough not. I interact obviously with Alyssa's posts all the time, but there's sometimes I have to go to her page because Facebook is not showing me stuff that she posts. It's really annoying.
Well, that's probably to protect you, because I'm a spamming git.
You are a spamming git. That you are.
But no, your point is spot on. Like I know when Facebook sorts its algorithm out in a different way, because I will see completely different people in my feeds, just like that. And the other people, 90% of them are gone, buried. It's like Facebook has decided it's going to show me a different X amount of people.
Right.
Princess, I never see your stuff. It's very rare nowadays. I have to go to your page to see it.
Yeah, Salt's one of those ones. I never see his stuff. Ever.
Oh, shit. No, that's weird, because Salt I actually see.
Jesus Christ, Minnie. And apparently I'm off of his site now, because he used to respond to all of my movie posts. Now he hasn't responded to one in a while. I bet you he hasn't seen my posts in a while.
Yeah.
Or he just grew bored of my movie posts.
No, it'll be you just aren't in the... And it's self-fulfilling too, because Facebook will say, okay, we're going to switch out the people that you're seeing, and then it'll be, okay, so you haven't posted on Jack Cole's wall in a while, so we're going to show you that less. And it's like, I've not posted on his wall in a while because you're not showing him to me. I think I saw that one, Princess. I think I saw the one you're referring about.
Alex Vixen, Facebook. This person is not dead despite your hoping, so here's all their posts. Who the hell is this person? Right? Ooh, nice. Adding a little bit of the gold accent there at the top.
Yeah. Trying to keep a spot of illumination going on.
Yeah.
Princess, have you seen... Oh, no, I know you haven't. You haven't seen the 4-hour Jack Schneider cut yet. So, no spoilers. No spoilers. I know you're waiting for the general release. We have seen it. We liked it. I've got my usual gripes about DC movies in general, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I know a lot of people were turned off by the length of the movie. But the funny thing is it's been advertised how long it's going to be from the get-go. And if people have a problem with long movies, you can either A, don't watch it, or B, watch it in pieces, because it is divided up into chapters. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Alex. Or you can watch it in pieces. But people that go into it knowing it's a long movie, they force themselves to watch the entire thing in one go. And then they complain about how long the movie is.
Son of a bitch.
I have like quote unquote no sympathy for those people. It's like I would have been okay with it being even longer personally. You know, I could have handled another 2 hours.
Well, and you can watch them in pieces if you want, but I don't mind a good long movie. I think that there's too much emphasis, and I get it. People don't want to sit at a movie theater for 4 hours, but I love the classics, you know, that are 3-4 hours long, and they tell a big story. I'm okay with that. There's plenty of films that don't do that, so give me one in the blue moon that does.
Right. Yeah, Princess saying, I love long movies, but I need to be awake enough to dedicate my attention to them. Right. Well caffeinated, exactly. Brian McWhirter, any movie that's 3+ hours needs to have at least hobbits in it. No excuses.
Epic. Yeah, epic. There's a good word. Epic.
Ooh,
the epic movies.
Your Photoshop crash?
No, it didn't crash. I shut it down. Photoshop has been doing this thing where the whole cursor will just disappear on me. Just disappear. And someone said that it was a Wacom driver thing. And I updated my Wacom driver yesterday, hoping that it would work. And guess what? It didn't. So I'm going to have to do more troubleshooting on that. Only started over this last week or so. I guess I'll try updating my Photoshop next if there's an update to do. But yeah, just partway through drawing and colouring, the cursor will disappear. It's never done that before.
It's very bizarre. Alex Vixen says, I only complain about the length of the movie if I can feel the time watching a drag.
That's fair.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I've watched some movies that were like, less than 2 hours. And I've been like, oh my God, is this movie over yet? Good Lord. It's because obviously movies that drag are no fun of any length. Heck,
this one, sorry to interrupt, Jack. This one, for me, felt actually kind of quick. It did not feel like 4 hours. I don't know about you, Jack.
No, it totally didn't. Yeah, I was watching a YouTube video. I don't even remember what it was. It was a YouTube video, for God's sakes. So, they're not that long to begin with. And during it, I was like, fucking hell, how long is this video going to last? And I was like, wait a minute. And I actually thought to myself, if I'm not enjoying this, why the hell am I watching it? It's YouTube, for God's sakes. And so I closed it down. Because I was just like, I'm not interested in what's being talked about. I'm kind of bored.
Yeah, so when we were watching this thing, Jack actually told me it was in 4 parts, right? And part 1 came and went, and we were like, okay, that was actually pretty quick. Part 2 came and went. I was like, wow, this thing is going to fly by. Then part 5 came, and we were like, wait, how many parts is this? Part 6 came. And it's like they weren't a 1 hour parts, but the whole point is that the film was just flying by. It was flying by.
Yeah, I had misremembered the number of parts, apparently. I thought it was 4 parts, and it ended up being basically 7. 6 and an epilogue. Princess says the first time she saw Thor, she thought it was so amazing that it was over too soon. Now, out of the 3 Thor films, out of curiosity, how would you rank them personally? Out of Thor, Thor the Dark World, and Thor Ragnarok, how would you rank them from favorite to least favorite? And while we're waiting for that, Alex Fixon says, the last film that dragged badly for me was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, especially the fact of the flashback in the middle. Oh, interesting. Okay. I've actually never heard that from that film from somebody. Okay.
Jack, what about you? What movie, if you can remember, has dragged for you?
I will think on that for sure. Let's see, Princess does answer though. She says that Thor Ragnarok is her favorite. The first Thor film is her second, and then Thor: The Dark World is number 3. You looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder when it comes out? I'm glad Taika Waititi came back to do the fourth one because Ragnarok was so good. Let's see, so what would be a film that's dragged for me?
No pressure to answer that. I was just curious if you have one where you sat there and went, ah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. None are coming to me, but I want to try to find one to be able to answer the question. But what about you, Alyssa? What are your how would you rank the Thor movies?
I'm not sure I remember the third and the second particularly well, to be honest with you. I think I remember the third one.
The Thor Ragnarok, the one with Hulk and everything. And,
I want to say 3, 2, 1. Honestly, I wasn't not a huge fan of the first one. It was okay. Were you and I together, Jack, for that one?
For the first one?
Yeah.
I
want to say we weren't.
We were.
We were? Okay.
We were. We rented it video on demand, I think.
Okay.
But yes, because it came out in 2011.
Okay, then we definitely were. Okay. Wow, they busted out 3 movies in that 9-year period.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, the MCU is well, no, wait, hold on. MCU's.
I thought the MCU was going back some at this point.
15 years old? Iron Man was what, 2000?
I thought that was mid-2000s.
Iron Man, 2008. That's what kicked everything off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously artists aren't for everybody. Alex Fixon saying in that coming in with a controversial viewpoint, she's not a fan of Taika Waititi. There's just something about him that needles her. I'm not familiar with that expression.
Yeah, it's almost getting under the skin.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, especially when it comes to comedy. Comedy is even more subjective than the subjectivity of art in general. With filmmaking and what have you. It's already super subjective, and then humor on top of that even more. So I can get it. I mean, there have been some movies that I've heard, that have been recommended to me by friends, either shows or movies, that they're like, this is the funniest thing in the world. Oh my God. And then I watch it and I don't chuckle once. It's like, I didn't find it funny in the slightest. And I'm like, what the heck?
I actually got hit by that, and I got hit by that by myself. I actually watched a comedian once, and I don't know if it was just the mood I was in or the friends I was with, but I thought it was the dog's bollocks. I was laughing so much, and I took the video to England, and I sat down with my mum and dad and my sister to play this thing, and even I didn't chuckle once. And it was like, this is shit. This is crap. What the hell was I doing? So it can be incredibly subjective.
How drunk was I when I
How
watched
drunk
this
was
the
I?
first time?
Right.
Princess, I do indeed. I love the Skeleton Key. Mephisto Waltz. I'm looking that up right now, and I'm going to add it to my watch list.
There was a Skeleton Key, that one that's based in the South.
Kate Hudson, and she's in New Orleans, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
In Louisiana. Yeah, the voodoo. The voodoo.
Yeah, it's a good one, that.
That's a great movie. And I went into that not knowing anything about it, so I was blown away, and that's probably why I like it so much. It was one of those ones where I didn't see any of the ads for it or whatever, but it was one of those things where it's like people were like, wow, the Skeleton Key movie's really good. And I was like, oh, Okay, that's that like weird thriller one with Kate Hudson, right? Like I know nothing about it. There's like a picture of her on the cover, like looking at the key or something, and I was like, all right, let's see it. I'm into things that are kind of spooky, and I was like, oh, this is really spooky. Oh, damn, this is whoa! I did not expect this movie to be this awesome. Vista Waltz. Okay. Oh, an old school movie, huh? 1971. Okay. Okay, cool. Directed by Paul Wendkos. Has he done anything else that I'm familiar with? Nope. Okay. Well, he's done one that I've heard of, even though I never saw it. He did the sequel to the Magnificent Seven, The Guns of the Magnificent Seven.
Oh, I've seen that.
Which I have not seen. Was it any good?
Yeah, I think I seem to remember enjoying it.
There's a film I haven't seen. I have not seen the original Magnificent Seven. Oh no, like 20 years. I should rewatch that. I should rewatch that. Oop, sounds like we got a kitty.
Yeah, the Guns of the Magnificent Seven, or the Magnificent Seven just in general, they were great films. I love those things.
Yeah.
Of course, I watched the remake that was recently, like 3 years ago or so. We both did, and it was entertaining in and of its own right. But it didn't capture the same magic for some reason.
You weren't feeling it necessarily?
Not on the same level. It kind of hits a different emotional string for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I loved each of the characters, and I loved what the actors were doing with them. Like each one, I loved them. Like I thought they were great, and I thought they did a great job. And even like their interpersonal interactions with each other were pretty cool. But it's like, yeah, like you said, it's like I didn't feel the weight of it. So when like the shit started flying, it's like I didn't care that they were like in danger. And when they, some of them start dying, it's like I wasn't emotionally invested in them. I thought they were all cool characters. I thought they were great. And some of the adaptations that they did, and some of the acting choices that some of the actors did, I thought were really cool. But that was kind of it. It was kind of like, eh. Not like in either the original Magnificent Seven or even in the Seven Samurai, where, bad stuff starts going down and you're actually like, no, don't, come on, man. You can make this. Don't make that stupid decision. I can hear Buddy.
What are you doing?
I'm sure you guys can all hear him too.
Yeah, he sat right between our two microphones.
Come on,
what are you doing? Yeah, he's just sitting there just, wow.
He's coming in this way. I'm gonna see if I can bring him up to the camera. Come on, bud. Come on. Say hello to everybody, Deacon. This is Deacon, everybody. Oh, he's coming in and out.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's get a zoom in on that.
He is 10 years old. He is our boy kitty. He is a whining, complaining POS, but we love him to death. Named after the kobold from the Neverwinter Nights computer game, Deacon. Who is equally as annoying, but also adorable. All right, off you go. Alex Vixen agrees with us. The remake she's seen, and while it was entertaining, definitely not as good as the original or even Seven Samurai. But was it better than Battle Beyond the Stars, the other Magnificent Seven Samurai remake?
Have I seen that?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't think so. It's a Roger Corman is a real cheesy sci-fi movie. Came out in like either the late 70s or early 80s.
You know, that's one thing
Early
that I
80s.
miss
Early 80s.
about the Hollywood theatre. The fact that they would do these cheesy movie nights. And you would get to experience movies like that.
Yeah. There's a it's a screen capture from. I'm guessing it's a YouTube link that's going to take to the trailer because it says classic trailer in HD. But here's an image from the characters from the film, and it's an artist's rendition of all the actors and characters in the film.
Well, where are you showing that? Oh, okay, in the chat there.
Yeah, Alex Vixen, Battle Beyond the Stars is one of my guilty pleasures. Nice.
That is so. Is this a '60s movie?
No, it's 1980 is when it came out.
That's 80.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess so. Okay, yeah, the female in the center there should scream 80.
Yeah, the Valkyrie. Are you kidding me? Freaking alien warrior woman race.
I've got a funny feeling I've seen this. I think I've seen this, and I remember nothing of it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's totally like Alex said. Like for her, it's one of those guilty pleasure cult classic movies. Yeah, it's when you watch it, you either acknowledge the cheese and love it, or you acknowledge the cheese and you go, "This is so bad." So, I think even at the time it knew it was being a bit silly. I mean, hell, one of the characters is a cowboy, for God's sakes. It's crazy. But it's fun. Supposedly there was for I think the anime viewer in the chat with Princess Strega. Maybe you've seen this and I haven't because you're definitely more of an anime watcher than I am. But supposedly there was a like Seven Samurai Magnificent Seven anime with like that was kind of like futuristic or sci-fi-y. That I heard that was good, but I don't know anybody that's actually seen it, so I can't attest to that. Have you seen it, and is it good? If you have, with the new Magnificent Seven, Alex Vixen says she kept thinking, when is Chris Pratt going to Star-Lord on these people or scream, release the Raptors? Yeah, Chris Pratt's kind of one of those guys where he's kind of Chris Pratt in everything he does.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I like Chris Pratt, but it's Chris Pratt every time.
I mean, on Parks and Rec,
Chris Pratt. And then that character is now in space and he's Star-Lord. It's like he's Andy Dwyer in space, and now he's Andy Dwyer in a raptor pen. I mean, I guess he was a little more serious as the Raptor Wrangler. I forget his character's name, but he was just basically being a serious Chris Pratt, though. I mean, yep. And Chris Pratt with a deck of playing cards, Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven. Chris Pratt as a bit of a bastard in Passengers, the sci-fi one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Have I seen that one?
Yeah, you and I saw it. That's the one where like it's like all the humans are going to another planet and they're all in cryo sleep. And
something happens. Yes.
Something happens and he wakes up early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he wakes her up just because he doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah, he's such a. I do not agree with his actions in that movie. Not a happy movie, that one, for me personally. They're trying to write it off like, oh, it's nothing. It's like, no, it's so not nothing. He is not a good person. Allah come again. That movie is totally gross from the female perspective. Thank you. Exactly. He is such a horrible person in that movie. Oh God, it's terrible.
Hey, Alla. Good
Yeah,
to
buff
see
Andy
you.
Dwyer. Yeah. That was one of the things, I guess, when Chris Pratt got the role for Star-Lord, he was kind of like in his Andy Dwyer chubbiness, and he was like, oh, I need to work out and be buff for this role as Star-Lord. So he immediately got on like an exercise and food regimen. Obligatory. Hi, guys. Hello.
I've forgotten about that one, Jack.
Passenger. It was called Passengers, right? Yeah. 2016 Passengers. Yeah. I mean, it was a well-made movie in that, like, the actors did well. It looked pretty. The CGI was good. But I didn't like it simply because of I found the plot, and the plot was, in my opinion, very basic. And not only that, but then the protagonist, the guy who, who's the main character that you're with for most of the film, is a scumbag. I mean, he's a terrible person.
So on that note, that's how the latest Wonder Woman hit me personally. For similar reasons, similar tone. Look, guys, if you've not watched it at this stage, my apologies, but I'm going to say something that's kind of a core part of the film. She brings back her lost love. Okay, that's cool. I'm not going to tell you how. Let's just say she does. But her lost love is actually in the body of an actual dude, a stranger, literally a stranger, who was just living his life in the real world. Her lost love occupies him. And
right.
It was body snatching territory, you know what I mean? And she proceeds to start making out with this dude and everything. And she's seeing her lost love, but the rest of the world seeing this actual dude whose body you've just stole. And it just started to hit some wrong notes with me. That it was a little too blasé, c'est l'affaire. It was like, hold on, is no one got a problem with the fact that this guy who's alive in this world has just been replaced?
Right. No consideration for
no concern at all.
Whether he had other relationships, either with family or with other loved ones. Maybe he was in an intimate relationship with another person. No regards to this person's employment. No in relation to, if this guy had bills or legal proceedings coming up. For all we know, this guy was fighting for custody of a child, or who the hell knows. But her long lost love hijacks a actual person, and we're supposed to be cool with this.
Yeah. Doesn't even get acknowledged. Wargaming Recon, good to see you, my friend. And look, by chance, I am not wearing your shirt. Oh, I thought I was. Okay, my apologies.
Look,
hey, by chance, I'm not wearing your shirt.
2020 Total Con. Wait a minute. Yeah, Alla agrees. Pretty gross too. And but she says, but that's like a drop in the overall badness of that movie.
Yeah,
Good point.
That's fair.
Good point. I too was disappointed by the second one, which sucked because I really wanted to love it because I liked most of the first film.
Ask Alla about the repercussions of the two snaps.
Alla, what are the repercussions of the two snaps? What are we talking about? Like the Thanos snaps?
Yeah. Yep. And I know where she's going with this.
I'm now intrigued. What's going on?
It's like if you start to think about it, the two snap thing, it starts to kind of get a little bit dark in some ways.
the snaps that both caused the blip and undid the blip. I'm not even sure it's being asked of me, but damn, it's pretty fucked up. Now, are we talking about the fact that because all of like half of life on Earth? Yeah, we've watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. But that's the you know, I don't know obviously what you're talking about, but you know, when half of the planet's population is suddenly gone, and then 5 years go by and the world now adapts to having those people not here, and not as much food is being produced, and resources aren't able to be produced, and whatever the hell have you, and then suddenly half of the entire planet suddenly returns and you can't handle all those people anymore.
All right, so let me ask you a question, Jack.
Yeah.
When someone disappears from the snap and then the second snap occurs, where do they reappear?
According to the MCU, it seems like they reappear where they disappeared.
All right. So if someone was on a boat or a plane,
right,
and they reappear,
right,
would it be fair to say that they're now free falling?
In reality, yes. In the MCU PG-13ness, they're going to show up on that plane in that chair wherever it is in the world.
Okay.
Like, if you think about it, Monica Rambeau, who was in WandaVision, she was in the hospital with her mom, who was dying of cancer, visiting her when the snap happened, and she disappeared. So in the flashback in WandaVision, when we see her come back from being snapped, she's still sitting in the chair by the bed, but now the bed's empty because her mom passed away years ago now, a couple years ago. This has been 5 years. Well, so if somebody moved the chair, would she have fallen on her ass? It's like, no, it's the MCU. The chair's still going to be there. Realistically, yes, the room could be rearranged. She could have recombobulated and they moved the bed, and what, her arm is now in the bed? Maybe she was leaning on it. Now the bed's a little higher. Do her arms rematerialize inside the plastic siding of the bed? My arms are in a big plastic bed at this point. No, of course. I mean, realistically, yeah, that's totally something that could happen. Holy crap. But because of MCU logic, nah. The bed and the chair and everything is exactly in the same position it was when she left. What I'm telling you, Strega, is not a spoiler at all. If you know like the overall MCU things where there's this, if you know the snap and you know the unsnapping, then that's it. And you know everything I just said was not a spoiler, so it's all good. I mean, unless knowing about a character's family history, which doesn't play into the plot at all. If you find that a spoiler, then I guess that was a spoiler. But you're good. You're good. WandaVision's very, very good, though.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler.
Alex Vixen, yeah, how many relationships were destroyed by the snap? Exactly. Your entire family goes poof, 5 years later, they get unsnapped, and you've remarried or committed suicide. Exactly.
That's one thing though I liked. Was it Avengers 2 where they're exploring the post-snap, and they're doing like counseling groups and everything together. I'm like, yeah, I actually think that would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be, wouldn't it?
Right.
Because you'd come back and the world has moved on and you weren't part of it. You would need counseling for that. Your job is gone. Your family's moved on.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things in Endgame in the beginning when it does that whole 5 years later. And then there's like, and Steve is running a therapy group for those that were left behind that weren't snapped. And like one of the guys that's there, that's like part of the group, is like, I finally was able to go out and date again. And the guy that I was with, we had this emotional moment, and both of them are like, they're like, we're crying or whatever. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, so imagine if this guy, I mean, like countless people, you're like, you go through, let's say, a couple years of mourning. You know, let's give it like a worst case scenario. Let's say like it takes you 3 years, 4 years, but then you spend that remaining time being like, okay, I want to now be involved with this person that I've met that's left, and we're great, and we're good. Let's move in together. We love each other now. The snap happens. The second snap happens, and your partner and potential kids are now back, and you're like, I spent 4 years mourning you, and I've now been in a romantic relationship with this new person for a whole year. How you were dead? What do I do with my life now? What even is life? And I sold the house because I moved in with this person.
It's like I'd come back, you would have sold all of the miniatures a couple of days after I was gone.
Days? Come on, hours.
Hours. I come back from shopping and say, hey, I didn't get snapped. What the fuck?
Like, well, I made $20. Hey. Big truck leaving with all the minis. You're like, $20? Yeah, Alla says, keeping it pretty ambiguous. Very well have happened to some people. Yeah, they went really dark. Yes, yeah, some of the storylines really dark. Unless someone else took control, I guess one could argue that since Thanos wanted to reduce the population by half, that maybe the snap could take in effect the number of people. I don't think it worked that way. Yeah, I don't think the snap was that thought out. Alla saying Natasha's depression, eating expired peanut butter sandwiches and not getting her hair done was the realest part of the snap experience. Yeah, I like the blonde and the red just growing out. She's just like, considering at the beginning of the film you see she's like keeping it all maintained, and then by the end she's just like, I don't care anymore. Well, see, yeah, in Strega, if you think about it, that was, that's one of the parameters that Tony set was, because him and his family wasn't snapped, or him and his loved one wasn't snapped, and they were able to start a family. And he was like, we can't change anything. Because he's like, if we go back to when it was, I won't have my kid anymore. I won't have the life that I've created now. He's like, and that was like his big thing. His thing was like, no. He was like, no, we can't. I will not allow it. I will not help you guys if that's the case. I mean, sure, then they could have been like, screw you, Tony. We're doing it anyways. But yeah. I like little Morgan Stark, so I'm going to have to disagree with you. Oh yeah, but obviously he was. Yes, in the you could take it that way. The second film, I'm not going to defend it. Yes, because Tony he didn't want his daughter to be unmade and die. He was being selfish. We'll go with that.
Pretty sure as a family guy there, Wargaming, you might not have been so far removed from Tony, faced with the same decision. Is it selfishness at that point? Or is it just human and fatherly instinct? I think it was a believable response to the situation for me.
Yeah, I don't have kids, so maybe it's really easy to let them go. But I don't know. George Fields is back. He got a surprise video call from his grandkids. Oh, cool.
Hey, that's cool. You know, I've got to be honest with you. So I know that we're all going to eventually be post-COVID. I think COVID's going to be around for a long time. You know, we're going to be uttering it in the same tone as the flu and getting our COVID shot every year. But that by the by, there are certain things that have happened in this last year that have been absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm not going to actually, try to, undermine that. But there have been certain things like video calls and stuff, which I actually think have been really cool, and I hope we don't lose them. I think we've tried to stay in touch with each other more, I think we've become aware of technology and how it can help us stay in touch. And I hope that stays.
Yeah, I do as well. With families and friends and everybody. Because if you think about it, before all of this happened, a lot of ways to connect with people, whether it be social media accounts, whether it be Zoom, whether it be Discord, whether it be Google Hangouts, whatever it may be, FaceTime, on Apple devices. It's like people knew that they were there, but there were certain groups of people that either like ignored it, or they didn't want to look into it, or they were like, that's too complicated for me. But everything has forced everybody to kind of get into it, look into it, and all that jazz. I mean, and the fact that it has, in a weird way, in all of this separation that we've had, just like you said, in a way, it's almost helped strengthen our connections with each other, because people are willing to look into it, so they can have, I can't see my family in person because of the pandemic. I want to be able to teach me how to do this digital communication thing. I think it's great. I agree with you. I hope it keeps up.
It's like you and your mom and your brother on Sunday all chatted together for an hour or so. Would you have done that pre-COVID?
No, because that's the thing. Even like pre-COVID,
you wouldn't have even gotten a joint call together.
It wouldn't even have been a joint call. Exactly. It would have been my brother would have gone to see my mom because they lived nearby each other, and then maybe I would call to talk to them, and they'd pass the phone around. But even then, it'd be like that's probably not going to happen. They're probably not going to pass the phone around, on a Sunday. But yeah, because of COVID, we all jumped on a Zoom call, and we all hung out together for like an hour and a half on Sunday yesterday. It's like cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, and the fact that a lot of companies obviously are even doing stuff with like remote work with employees. For certain types of businesses where you don't need to be in an office. That type of thing. It's like I one thing that I think that's beneficial that's come out of this is the fact that we've had increased, communication benefits for personal life, but then also for professional life for employees and stuff.
The fact like that it was a bean. No, question time. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Jack.
Question time. But no, yeah, just the fact that it's opened up so many things which is funny because it's like all of those things have been there, but it's the fact that the pandemic has jump-started people actually doing it, actually looking into it, actually getting things in place. Because I don't think it's almost like it forced their hand. Like it was almost like they were being lazy. Like if we don't have to, why look into this? And now they have to do it, so they're like, "Oh wow, this is working better than I would have thought." It's like, yeah, it would have worked this well ahead of time. Oh, my camera is frozen. Interesting.
Actually, let me check.
Yeah,
it's not frozen on Zoom. That's weird.
It's like the stream OBS or
whatever
it is.
Weird. Oh, it's just cleared up. It's just cleared up. All right. It didn't know what to do with your awesomeness.
Now I'm not there at all.
What the hell?
Is the Zoom being covered or something?
No.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
What?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I can still hear me.
Yeah, you are not there.
I am a ghost. The ghost of movies past.
Changed it. Yeah, you have disappeared. Oh, that's... Hold on a sec. Hold on.
Hello. There's you.
Hold on.
Whoop. Yep.
Hold on. What the... Oh, hold on. Oh, where's Jack? How?
That is so bizarre.
How? We've never had that before.
Well, I partially got snapped because apparently my voice got left behind.
Yeah, Alex Vixen is like, you got snapped. Holy shit, that's so weird.
Well, the funny thing is in the call we're still connected. We're still here.
Connected. I can see you.
Yeah. On her personal thing, she can still see me. So it's like, why doesn't the program recognize that I'm here?
That is so weird. All right, let me
I'm taking up your mapping time. I'll just be the disembodied voice. If anybody wants to see this beautiful scruffy face, they can jump back on the replay.
Now you're just a white.
Oh, like a undead white?
Is that a bad thing? You say that like that's a bad thing. Oh, look, there it is. It's back.
Is he back though?
That is so freaking weird.
I think he is still a disembodied voice. Okay, No responses on that?
War Gaming Recon said the white screen was an improvement.
Aw, sadness.
But Princess Strega loves your scruffy face.
Hey! Scruffy. I need to... Oh, I'm getting bad. It's because of my ghostly presence was annoying. You were like, I'm done. Alex, like, I got no time for you.
Hey, no one got time for that.
Sorry, what was that?
What? What? You say something?
We need to redeem wine.
Oh, there was a question time while you're doing that. There was a question time. So you redeem your wine.
It was book 2, question 66.
Book 2, 66. Okay, and Princess, I actually do mix these up a little bit in order over here. So we've got What If? 66, huh? What If? Here we go. Let me... Oh, I don't have a pen. Thank you very much. Let's circle 66 as having been done. Alright, this goes for me. It goes for all of you out there. What if? What if the Grinch tried to steal your Christmas? How would you stop him? What if the Grinch tried to steal your Christmas? What would you do to stop him? I'm not sure, actually, with the Christmases that I've been having recently. I haven't really tried to stop him at all. He can have it. Like, Jack and I are very low-key with our Christmases right now, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, if he tried to steal the joint present that Jack bought and I bought for each other, then we'd have to have a little fight. But otherwise, I mean, he can steal whatever he wants, I guess. Jack? Wargaming Recon would do it with a big hug. George Fields wouldn't. Princess Strega doesn't celebrate Christmas, so we're kind of all in the same boat. It's like, you're out of Grinch. Like, okay, so I mean, a Christmas that I cared about. about 4 years ago over in Bulgaria with my family. I went over there at Christmas time with Jack, and we hung out for the entire Christmas period. It was wonderful. If the Grinch tried to steal that, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to be in a fist fight. I don't know. I'm not going to try to appeal to his better sense of judgment or anything. Okay, cool.
Seems like such an odd question.
It's a really odd question, but I guess if you got 3,000 questions, some of them are going to be odd.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, really, aside from buying a joint gift for ourselves at Christmas, we put up Christmas lights outside of the house. That's all we do. So for us, what I guess he would steal all of our Christmas lights. I guess that's what he's trying to do. So how would I do to stop him? Well, being that I live in the real world, the cops would show up. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. I don't know what they're trying to expect. Like they're like, what am I setting up like a Home Alone?
Princess, give me another number. Give me another number. Same book, different number.
Contraptions or something that are like booby traps. You know,
Princess, not a moped, a motorbike, dear girl, a motorbike.
I have personal defense items that I own that I would take care of him. I don't know. The very next one, 67.
67. Okay.
Wargaming says Christmas has always been huge for him with lots of family traditions.
All right. So what if you could make any cartoon or superhero real? Who would you pick?
Cartoon or superhero?
Cartoon or superhero? Who would you pick?
Interesting.
Like, I mean, you know, you're tempted to go with Superman or something like that because he literally protects the world.
Right. But who is a superhero or cartoon character who combats political corruption?
Would Captain America be a good choice? I love Captain America. I love Cap.
Princess Strega immediately comes out with Supergirl, and I would want to be her. Nice. Allah says, face it, we need Captain Planet at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. Allah, you have seen the Don Cheadle Captain Planet spoof videos, right? Alex Fixon says, now Christmas with Mike, I have all manner of sharp, pointy, and/or heavy objects to introduce him to. See, I'm kind of with you, Alex. In our home, we have lots of pointy things, we have lots of slashy things, we have lots of bludgeoning things, and we have lots of projectile things. So, you know, we've got, we've got like the entire thing. I think we just need a cannon and we're set. So it's like, you want our Christmas lights? Come get it, punk. Just kidding. Yes, all is love. Of course, Don's the best Captain Planet. That he is. I saw funnily enough, I actually saw a Captain Planet meme this morning. Because it was a Captain Planet Lord of the Rings playoff. You know, where it showed like the five kids with the rings, and it was like, but for all of them were deceived, for another ring was made. That's like, oh shit, okay. So what, Captain's Planet is Sauron? Jesus Christ. Wargaming saying, A couple of options here. Danger Mouse, maybe. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Spawn. Oh God, Spawn.
Spawn.
Whoa.
Spawn.
R2D2 was a cartoon. Does he count? I mean, he was in some of the cartoons, so like sure. Beast Foolish coming in with either Bugs Bunny or Captain America.
Captain America. You had me at Cap. You had me at Cap.
Strega says, I imagine Alyssa Faden would be hurling a pillum at the Grinch. We need to get you a pillum, actually.
I'd be way too tempted to throw it at something.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't get you a pillum then.
I'd have to throw it at least once, right?
Yes. You could do it in the backyard. Aim it at the neighbor's fence. The ones we don't like. You know the ones.
It goes through the fence. Someone screams. Alyssa is carted off to prison. It just all ends so horribly. She's screaming, the Empire will return. No one understands.
Cartoon or superhero brought to life. And actually, wargaming, if you think about it, speaking of superhero, R2D2 is a goddamn superhero. He's the character consistently through all of the Star Wars films. He's the guy that comes in clutch when stuff needs to get done.
He's not a superhero.
He's a goddamn superhero.
He's a tin can, and you've got to accept it.
Better than Captain America.
No, he's not.
R2D2 has Star Wars universe's ass. Captain America keep his America's ass. Strega wants you to record you throwing this. Okay, well, we'd get arrested. They'd be like, there's video footage of you killing someone with the that would be funny.
And then me getting tased.
With the "don't tase me, bro" as you're running away. George Fields has no answer. You have no superhero or cartoon that you'd want to make real life? R2D2 was in the animated droid special, and he was in the Clone Wars as well.
I get the feeling that the person who wrote that particular question isn't paying attention to the vast amount of cartoons and the likes that are out there nowadays, and just what a Pandora's box they have opened up. I get the impression that they feel like all superheroes were in comics from like the 60s or 70s, and that there's been nothing since.
Right. Yeah, the Droid series, and not only that, but the Droid series are going to be coming to Disney Plus here pretty soon. That's going to be cool. Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, the Droid series, the Ewok TV movies.
Oh, sign me the fuck up, Jack.
Oh God, they're so bad. I think the.
I just can't wait to be watching that shit.
Well, I'm gonna watch it. Well, actually, if you want to watch the Ewok movies,
no, I don't want to watch
downstairs.
it. God damn, I don't want to watch it.
They're pretty bad. It was one of those nostalgia things that kind of broke my little heart. It was I watched the Ewok movies and the animated Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Oh God, you rewatched that?
I did. I watched them all of those at the same time. I was like, oh man, my nostalgia is getting destroyed because these are so bad.
Yeah, there were certain series or shows or whatever that have really quite well stood the test of time, and a lot do not. In fact, what shows have you all tried to watch, like tried to go back to from a nostalgia perspective, and it just has not held up? And I will go first, and some of you won't know this one, but Alex Vixen might. Sapphire and Steel is mine. Oh, and Blake 7. I tried to go back to Sapphire and Steel and Blake 7 because I loved those freaking shows when I was a kid, and they just had not held up.
Okay.
And I'll go one stage further. For me, ones that I think would be a disaster for me to go back to would be Logan's Run and Space 1999. Or even Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Was it Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea?
Or do you mean 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
No, it was a series.
Oh, okay.
And it was awesome. Except I know nowadays if I watched it, it wouldn't be.
Let's see. So starting up a little bit, let's see. Wargaming was stating the names of the Ewok movies. Cool. Brian McWhirter saying he liked the Droids cartoons and loved the theme song. Thinks the theme song was outstanding. Strega changing her answer. I'm guessing because she's saying that the original cast of Charmed, the Charmed ones, are they basically superheroes even though they're witches? I guess that's why. I'll say the X-Men animated series was pretty solid. See, Wargaming saying that the D&D cartoon was something Ernie Gygax was heavily involved with doing that, or so I was told. Alex Vixen says, myself is Tirani, the Martian Queen. Looks at her Twitch avatar for no reason. Wargaming, yeah, I think there was a Logan's Run series.
Oh God, there was. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, I think it was 70s.
And Alex Vixen confirms that yes, it was called Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I loved that show. There's no way that it's held up though. No way.
So Wargaming's answers are Different Strokes, Silver Spoons, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and with one that I find odd, The Sopranos. He doesn't feel would hold up if you watched it today.
I've actually been rewatching some Sopranos recently, and I've been entertained. There was an old comedy show too back in the 80s called Porridge, which was based in prison, and it followed several characters, and it was just this guy's life inside, and it was funny back in the day. I have tried to rewatch that since then. Oh no. So I backed away from that.
See, I didn't grow up watching a lot of TV. I had to watch stuff as I was like when I hit high school and college, and I finally was able to like rent stuff or borrow VHS tapes or what have you of like old stuff that I missed. Because when my family divorced when I was pretty young, neither one of them had a TV, and so I actually missed a lot of like early television stuff. So I actually don't know. So some of my stuff came, like I saw like Taxi for the first time when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, and I thought it was great. It's like, and I missed that ball by decades, and I was like, this show Taxi is fantastic. I don't know. And so some stuff or some stuff I watch and I'm like, wow, you know what? Let's see if I can think of one that it's like when I saw it, I was like, wow, this was popular back in the day. This is real bad. Hey, Brian agrees with me. Taxi is a classic.
Taxi is one that I couldn't get into too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what I was watching instead. I think it was soap. I was watching soap, and Taxi would come on afterwards, there in England. But I'd have my soap fill, so I was good, thanks.
I've actually never seen soap. I've heard of it, and I've heard from many that it was pretty good. I never watched any of it though. Wargaming's in your boat. Taxi aboard him. Alex Dixon says King of the Rocket Men.
God, never heard of that.
I did this is gonna almost seem like it's blasphemous, but I because all of the Simpsons are available on Disney Plus, I tried watching the first season of the Simpsons and I wasn't digging it. I wasn't really digging it.
Alex Vixen, I have seen none of those.
Centurions, Visionaries, Gargoyles. Oh, I know Gargoyles. I've seen the pilot episode, or yeah, the pilot episode of Gargoyles. I think it almost maybe have been. I think it almost was like movie length. I think because I think it's what like kicked off the series. I remember that being good back in the day. I have no idea how that would hold up now. Princess saying, I didn't start watching TV show MASH until the late 90s. It's now one of my most watched shows, but not my favorite show, Sliders, takes that spot. Yeah, I remember you've actually talked about Sliders in the past. That's a show that I missed it the first run through, and so I went back and I started watching it. Sadly, I didn't complete it. I actually have no idea why. Oh no, I remember why. The person I was borrowing the DVDs for, I fell out with them, and so I never was able to finish. I think I watched like the first two seasons. No, the first season of Sliders. I don't think I got past the second. I never got into I never was able to get past the first season.
I've never seen any Sliders at all.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
I couldn't get into MASH. I don't think I've watched any complete episodes of MASH, and I've only watched about 3 Quantum Leaps, even though I really love the show.
Quantum Leap's another good one. That's another good one.
Quantum Leap's not a good one?
No, it is. I'm saying it is. I said that's another good one. That's another good one.
That was one where I actually I went to a hangout, a physical hangout back in England. It was a bunch of weirdos, but they were playing Quantum Leap, and I freaking fell in love with it. It was awesome, but my only opportunity to watch it is like someone brought Quantum Leap, tapes to watch. That was the first time I'd ever even been aware of Quantum Leap.
Right.
I've lost my cursor again, by the way, but I'm just going to go until we finish the stream. So.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen the Quantum Leap finale. Wargaming was saying how he thought that Quantum Leap finale was horrible.
Isn't there talk about them doing more Quantum Leaps?
Possible continuation. Occasional announcement of plans to revisit or restart the series have been made. In July of 2002, so 19 years ago, the Sci-Fi Channel announced that it was in development of a 2-hour television film based on Quantum Leap, which it was running reruns at the time, to serve as a backdoor pilot for a potential new series. But apparently that didn't go anywhere. In 2010, so 11 years ago, at a San Diego Comic-Con International, Scott Bakula said that the producer was working on somebody, I don't know who this person is, they say a name, Belisario, maybe that's the showrunner from the original series, was working on a script for a potential Quantum Leap film. Obviously nothing ever came of that. In October of 2017, again, this Belisario person confirmed at the LA Comic-Con that he had finished the script for the feature film. Oh, okay. So it only took him 7 years, and then still nothing has come of it. And then NBC has stated that they have considered a potential relaunch of Quantum Leap for their Peacock streaming service. But again, no word on that.
Why was it cancelled, Brian? Was it not getting the viewership? Alright, I'm going to finish the white bits on this here, and then I think we can call this done for the night. I'm going to try and figure out why my cursor keeps disappearing, but I'm going to guess that Wacom is going to blame Photoshop, and Photoshop is going to blame Wacom, and I'm going to get nowhere. What other series would you guys and girls like to see revisited, redone? I think the one that I want to see is Blake 7, because the old one has not aged well, like, at all. But I actually think it is being redone, so that's kind of a cheat.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those things where I know a lot of people are obviously super opposed to reboots or remakes or what have you. But I'm always a big fan of, you know, if we're in because we're now in a better place to tell better stories or more complete stories, or shows are able to have a longer budget, or excuse me, a bigger budget, you know, that type of thing. I'm all for stuff being remade, even ones that, like, you know, we're holding on to our nostalgia, like, you know, with an iron grip. Like, I would love to see, not even, I don't even need a continuation of Quantum Leap. If they just completely redid Quantum Leap from the beginning, as much as I love the original show, do it. I mean, with the technology we have for, like, special effects, the filmmaking techniques that have now become pretty common, with the budgets that are now available, with the types of shows that are now available to be shown, I think it would be great. I really do. And the great thing is we would still have the originals as well, that are still pretty good for the most part. So it's like, you can now have both. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Alright, this is a good point, I think, to end it tonight. This is kind of where I'm at. And I think what I'm doing is I'm drawing some inspiration from actual medieval sort of coloring, by the way. It's a good example. So nice and bright on these things. And I feel like I am getting there. I am going to stop, and I think tomorrow I'm going to start working on the interior of the map, and I think we're going to start doing some locations for this, because I think it's going to start to pull in the whole purpose. I really, really, really wanted to see if I could make this frame work. I feel like I can. I feel like it's going to feel illustrated, you know what I'm saying? So tomorrow we're going to be back, and we're going to be working on the interior, and for that I have like this one. No, those are my styles here. Yeah, so I showed this earlier on, but trees like that, little buildings like that, that's what I'm going to be shooting for. So
those are going to be really cool.
I think so. And we're going to apply them to these green areas right here, and I think that's going to look good. We'll get the size dialed in, a little bit of colouring on them, and I think it's going to work. The client has given me a list of locations that they want, and then I'll add any locations I already have. We'll go from there. I think we're going to work on the interior a little bit tomorrow. So that will be at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Time. And then on Wednesday, we're going to start working on a new map. If I've got enough information from the client by then. They wanted a huge city map. Huge. So we're going to start working on that. So if you've actually been waiting around for a short while, waiting for me to start actually doing some ink work again, tomorrow night I'm going to be doing some ink on this, and Wednesday night I'm going to be doing some ink. Thursday night, I'm on a small business panel or small publisher panel for Gary Con. Watch for that. Friday night, I am doing a painting session, but it won't be streamed publicly. It is part of Gary Con. You've got to go to Gary Con, buy yourself a ticket and join if you want to see it live. In that session, Friday night, I'm giving away a Gary Gygax miniature, and I'm going to paint it live on air, okay? You've got to be in the channel, though, to watch that happen and be potentially eligible to win it. Saturday morning, I'm going to do exactly the same. Saturday evening, I'm on a diversity panel for Gary Khan. Sunday, I am part of a Gaxmore panel, which will be, I think, available publicly. With Luke Gygax, Ernie Gygax, and Stephen Chenault. It's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy week ahead. A lot of fun. And we're going to start tomorrow. Alright, so Jack, thank you very much for joining us.
Of course.
All of you crazy kids out there, thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it. Back tomorrow night. Thank you for all of you Twitch subscribers. Huge love for my Patreon backers. Cannot express that enough. Love you all. Back tomorrow night. Gonna start working on some of the interior details on Salt Walls of the Railroad. Until then, everyone have a great rest of your evening. I love you.